Now, we will going to discuss allowed expenses. What are allowed expenses? So simple theory is expense means paid by employee. If employee paid something from his pocket, it might be allowed. If it is in the performance of duties necessary for the job and wholly exclusively for the purpose of his employment, we can say there are only 4 expenses which are allowed. Okay, the 5th one we will discuss after some time. Now in this chapter we are going to discuss 4 allowed expenses. 3 of them has no working. No working means we are going to just deduct as they will be provided the same amount. And for one, we are going to do some working. The first one is in the red box, occupational pension scheme. If employee is paying a amount into occupational pension scheme, then it's an allowed expense. How much he is paying into occupational pension scheme, we will going to deduct it from annual salary. Simple, easy. In the paper, examiner is giving you bit confusion. What he is going to do, he will tell you employer is contributing 5% of salary and employee is contributing 2% of salary. Which one we should take? So the answer is we must take the contribution by employee, because expense means contributed by employee itself. Employer contribution is exempt. We are not going to do anything for that one. If employee is contributing, employee by himself or herself is contributing any amount in occupational pension scheme, it is going to be allowed expense, same amount, same percentage we are going to just calculate. No other formula or tricks are involved. Second thing, you know that after completing your ACCA, you still have to pay annual subscription, and still then you are a student, you are continuing paying every year annual subscription. Management institutions, professional institutions, marketing institutions to whom you are related, yani your education belongs to any institution, you have to pay the professional fees or subscription to them. So this subscription, how much you are paying, it's an allowed expense from your salary. You can deduct it from your salary, same amount which you are paying. No tricks, no working involved. So these 2 expenses are very simple, very easy, no need to do any working. The third one is payroll givings. Payroll givings, the third one, payroll givings is the donations. If you are paying charity directly from your salary, means you instructed your employer that please deduct X amount from my salary and pay to charity before releasing me my salary. This is known as payroll givings. This will be given to you in the paper with the same name, payroll givings. How much amount you contributed, you are going to deduct it from your annual salary. No tricks, no working involved. Any questions?
No question.
Okay, these 3 expenses, no working involved, as I told you earlier. Now, we just did one question which with the name of Underwood, right? Remember? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. In the question Underwood, we just gone through with the bonus, right? This one, this was the question, right? And we just did till here. If I write it, annual salary 950 into 12. You told me something. I don't remember. Can you tell me again?
11,400.
11,000?
400.
400. Okay. In this question, we have some other information that Underwood is an employee, okay, by himself. He made the payments, okay. We knows that there are allowed expenses, which are total 4. Till now, we discussed 3, right or wrong? One is occupational pension. Second one is payroll givings. And the third one is subscription to professional body. We discussed this 3 till now. There are total 4. Can you see this question of Underwood and see is there any allowed expenses? Yes, please. Your voice is not coming.
That's not allowed.
Yeah, tell me.
There is no allowed expense.
See, this is payments, right? Payment means his expenses. Did he contribute in occupational pension?
Yes, he did.
How much? It is allowed expense, occupational pension. Subscription to chartered institute. He is insurance man and he is paying for chartered institutions of insurance, means is this professional subscription. It's allowed. Payroll givings or payroll deduction is the charity from salary. This is also an allowed expense. So contribution to occupational pension, subscription to the qualification you have, and payroll donations or payroll deductions or payroll givings. These 3 expenses are allowed. We will going to deduct them as it's given. We are not doing any working because these 3 expenses are simply allowed, means they are going to be deducted from our employment income, from our annual salary, means employment income will going to reduce because of deducting these expenses. If employment income reduces, my tax is going to automatically reduce. My tax is going to reduce automatically, right or wrong?
Right.
So that's the final answer for question number 25, Underwood. Please note it down. In it, we can say mileage allowance. Mileage allowance is an allowed expense, but there is a condition for it, that the car must be owned by employee and he or she must use it for business purpose. Business purpose means for employment purposes. So if a car, just focus on my question. If a car is owned by employer, is it mileage allowance will be calculated? If a car is owned by employer, what we should do? Hello?
Usually it's calculated for employee, right?
I cannot hear you, but I can give you the answer. If a car is owned by employer and provided to employee, it's a benefit for personal use. It's a benefit, and we are going to calculate taxable benefit for car or fuel if fuel is also provided. But if a car is owned by employee himself or herself and he or she is using the car for the job, for the business, then only we will be allowed to calculate mileage allowance. Got my point? When mileage allowance will be calculated? Can you read the question, please?
Zohaib uses his car for business travel. He drove 13,000 miles for which his employer paid.
First of all, the car is owned by who? Company or employee? Who owned this car?
The company owns the car.
Zohaib uses his car. His car. His car means his company owned car or his personal car?
His personal.
Personal car. Whenever there is a personal car, we are going to calculate mileage allowance. How to calculate mileage allowance? Very easy. Paid by employer. If you are running your car for your job, definitely your employer is going to pay you something. How much he is paying you? 30 pence per mile. 30 pence means 0.30. 30 pence means 0.30. How much is the answer? Okay. This what he received from employer. Now, very carefully, please focus on the screen. Government says he should receive how much? Government says he got 3,900, but what he should receive? This is called statutory limit. Yani by law, how much he should receive. So these limits, which I am going to write, will be available to you in your paper. These limits are, let me change the color, 10,000 up to 10,000 miles. Government says you should receive 45 pence. And for excess above 10,000 miles, government says that for above 10,000 miles, you should receive 25 pence. This is statutory limit, which will be available to you in your paper as well. So what government states? Government says that whatever you are receiving, okay, fine. But for us, for our point of view, you should receive this much. Okay, how we are going to calculate? Just check, just focus, please. How much miles he drove? How much miles? How many miles?
13,000.
If I apply this formula, what should I do? Up to 10,000 miles, he should receive 45 pence, yani 0.545, which is 4,500. And for the excess, he drove 13,000. 10,000 here. How much left? How much in excess?
3,000 excess.
How much he should receive for this 3,000?
0.25.
What is the answer?
750.
What is the total of these two?
5250.
Now very carefully try to give me the answer. He received how much? He got how much money?
He received 3,900.
3,900, right? But as per the government statutory limits, he should receive how much?
5250.
So is it his loss or his faida?
Loss
How much?
by 1350.
So this is the last allowed expense, which is known as mileage allowance. Mileage allowance is the comparison between actual amount received by an employee and the statutory limits. Statutory limits, yani by law, the limits are fixed. These will be fixed. This will be given to you. The difference between both of them, if it is negative, it will be an allowed expense. Any questions, please? Till now, we discussed 29, around 29 benefits. So, one more. Just look at this question. I am just changing a small thing here. Just check it out. Everything is same, but as I am changing this thing, I use another color. The highlighted one is just changed. Can you try that one, please? Yes, Uzma. Can you tell me what's the difference? 0.60. What will be the answer?
7800.
Okay. The answer is coming here positive, right or wrong?
Then
How much?
calculating.
Okay.
Two five five zero.
Sorry, 2.
550.
If the answer was negative, it was allowed expense number 4. But what if the answer be positive? Like employer is paying us more than we deserve. So it's benefit number 30, benefit number 30, mileage allowance will be taxable benefit and it's going to be added in the salary. Means if it is negative, mileage allowance is an allowed expense and it's going to be deducted from your annual salary. But if it is positive, means we are getting more than we deserve, it will be benefit number 30 and it's going to be added in our annual salary. Any questions? Last thing, and we will sign off. The last thing is, for example, uh, same question, 21, 22. This is a employee. He is driving, okay, to office. He is driving to client own car, okay. Employees own car, and he is driving to temporary office. To office, he drive around 1,000 miles, going coming back. To the client, he drive 500 miles, going coming back. Temporary office, he drives 200 miles, going coming back. And from office to the client, he drive 2,000 miles, going forward. Okay, going and coming back. So this is just a simple case. Employer paid, let's suppose, 30 fils or 30 cents. Okay, 30 pence per mile. It's easy, but what's the difficulty? The difficulty is we are applying it on the miles. Here 13,000 miles were given, but here miles are broke down. So which miles we should take and which miles we should ignore? So we will take only business travel. What we should take? And it's very specific. Okay, very specific, very specific. First of all, going to the client, what do you think? It's a private mile or business mile? Easy thing I started with.
Going to the client,
Yes,
it's a business.
very good. Then office to client. Office to client, what do you think?
Still a business travel.
Very good. Easy one, we just take them out. Now, as per the tax rules, temporary office is also a business mile. Temporary office is also a business mile. Then we asked, okay, one thing is left, which is permanent office. What about permanent office? So it's red mark, means permanent office will never be allowed. This will be considered as private mile. Home to permanent office is a private mile. We are going to ignore this 1,000. All others we will take, means total is 2,700 miles, for which his employer is paying 0.30. How much?
810.
800.
10.
Okay, statutory limit is under 10,000. So 2,700 into 0.45. How much he should receive?
1215.
So it's coming negative. How much?
405.
And it will be allowed expense. How much for?
405.
And we can say that's all for the allowed expenses. We completed employment income, annual salary. Then we discussed around almost 30 benefits. Then bonus and 4 allowed expenses. And we can say that almost we cover employment income. Only one small thing is left, which is reimbursement, which we are going to do with the revision kit, inshallah, tomorrow. Okay, any questions?
Okay. No questions.
Okay, please start revision, start doing the topics from the beginning, otherwise you are going to forget. Okay, so please start doing assignments. I send you one list, that question number this to till this you need to do. If you are not doing till now, please do that. Okay.
Done that.